traffic down and out. It is a Friday. From here in the messiest workshop in town. This is my, people don't believe me when I say, when I do these at homes, I'm actually in my art studio. And I just kind of take a little bit of corner, and I've got about 10 things going right now in the art studio. So it's a little bit sloppy, messy, but I just want you to know this is where, when I say I'm coming to you from my house, true enough, it is mi casa. Good morning to you. Dan Gresham here on this, what is today, 21st of January. You'd think I'd know I've already been at work for 8 hours. That by now I would have figured out what day of the week it is, what time it is. But yeah, it's good to be with you this morning. If you have not been outside, don't. If you don't have to. It's cold. It's wintertime. It really is. It is cold out there this morning. I think a lot of people are loving it. A lot of people are hating it. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those where if you like cold weather, you've been waiting a long time to get it. Well, it's here. You can wear those jackets, the sweaters, the parkas that you got last year and had a chance to wear maybe one time. But if you don't like cold weather, all you can think of is 2 days ago, I was in shorts and short sleeve shirt playing golf. And now I'm inside thinking, I'm not going to do a whole lot outside today if I don't have to. Just going from the house to the car is enough for me. I can only feel for those folks who do work outside all day and they don't have any choice. If you're in construction, whether it's highway or industrial, or maybe it's just home construction, you don't have any choice, right? You're going to be out in it. So bundle up, be ready for it. We're going to talk some more about what's going on. Right now, though, I want to remind you of a couple of things. Get the opportunity, follow us, of course, if you're watching on the KFDM Facebook page. Also, don't forget, thumbs up. We appreciate it. A like, if you don't mind. It has to do with the algorithms that Facebook uses in distributing their product. If you give us the thumbs up, it only helps us get the word out that we are doing these at-home updates. And yes, I have been off for a couple of days, so there you go. That's why we have not been getting together. I can see your comments when you post them, just like any Facebook post. So I can say good morning to Alma this morning. Buenos dias to you. Also to Claudia, good morning as well. And Kim, good morning. It's nice. Yeah, stay warm with friends. That's a good idea. I'm also, we're very fortunate in my house. We've been here in the same home for more than 30 years now. And one of the things that attracted us to this house all those years ago was there was a fireplace. And I came from Northeast Texas where I really enjoyed my fireplace. So when we bought this house, it was like, yeah, but how often do you get to use it? I mean, I'm not going to, I have a fireplace, but I'm not one of those people. I don't have gas. I don't have electric start. So, I mean, I have to build a fire the old-fashioned way. I have to get in there, use a little bit of paper if I want to, or I can use one of those little mini starter logs if I want. But, and I don't mind doing it, but at the same time, A, I don't want to start a fire if it's not going to be cold enough for me to enjoy it. B, I don't want to have to start one and then walk away from it, so I want it to be going all day. That's always kind of nice. And I don't necessarily, usually it takes two. I want my wife here with me to do it, or otherwise, I'm okay without it. But this is that opportunity to burn through some of that wood. Had an oak tree fall. That's always nice. Cut it up, split it. Now you got firewood. And believe it or not, we had an olive tree in our backyard here in Beaumont that was about 30 feet tall, 25 feet tall. It was tall, big. And the frost killed it last year. I'm talking about just killed it. So I cut it down and I cut it into manageable, fireplace sized pieces. I burned my first piece of the olive tree yesterday, which of course broke our hearts because we loved having an olive tree, but at the same time it made for a good fire last night. All right, are we going to need the fireplace the entire weekend? That's what you might be asking yourself. Let's hop over to KFDM. .com and find out. We have stories posted. There you go. Bundle up. Temperatures dipping into the 20s. That's right. Tomorrow morning. We're going to be cold tomorrow. We'll be in the 20s, but we're not going to have to worry about any kind of frozen conditions. We don't have the moisture in place. So that should be a good thing, right? You can forget about, how are we going to drive? How are we going to get here? How are we going to get there? Am I going to have to worry about, going over bridges? No, you really shouldn't. Because the other thing that happens when you get cold air and you get the kind of winds we're having right now, to 15 miles an hour, is it dries things out. So even moisture on the road with the cold and the wind seems to disappear. So there's a look at the forecast. But again, you can see if you're up in the lakes area, lower to mid 20s. So if you need to take any kind of precautions for plants or pets, do it. And then here in the triangle, upper 20s, lower 30s. But look at the wind gusts today, 22 miles an hour, 18 miles an hour overnight. That's going to create a significant wind chill. So keep that in mind as you start making your plans, not just for today, but for the weekend as well. That it is going to be cold. If you're one of those people that's been waiting for it, good for you. If you're one of those people that hates it, hang on. It's not going to last very long. It is Southeast Texas. Winter comes and goes pretty quickly. Also this morning, among the stories we're following, BISD board votes to rename Memorial Stadium, but it's one of the most confusing stories that I have seen in a while. Apparently the board, it says 4-2, but I'm pretty sure it was a 5-2 vote. Originally to rename the stadium, then they rescinded the vote, and then they decided that they're going to try to see what they can do about selling the naming rights of the stadium. If you're not familiar with this story, it has a long history. You can go and read all about it. As I said, we've got it posted there for you, that you can see the details of this story. Angel San Juan lays it all out for you. Bottom line, BISD in the end decides they're going to try to get naming rights. They're going to try to sell the name of the stadium and benefit from those funds. We'll see how far that gets and what happens. The other thing in our short time together this morning that I've had a lot of people asking me, how do I get my free at-home COVID test? I keep hearing people talk about it. How do I get it? Well, let me suggest that you Google USPS free COVID test. That's as simple as you can do it. USPS free COVID test. And this is the page that should pop up for you. It's the United States Postal Service. They're the ones who are doing the distribution of these tests. Now, the questions also are, well, how many of these tests do I get? Well, the answer to that is that you get 4 individual rapid antigen COVID-19 tests per address or per household. 4. That's how many you get. Not 14, 4. Now, it may change at a later date. They may expand it and say you can get more, but at this point, that's what you have to do. How involved is the process? If you're one of those people, I don't need that stinking test, there's no reason, then good, you don't have to worry about it. But if you want it, here it is. All you have to do is step through contact information. You're going to have to give your name, your last name, your email, if you wish to be notified. You don't have to if you don't want to. Then you have to give a shipping address. And you can read the Privacy Act statement that's there and find out exactly what it's all about. But you'll see, it looks like you're buying it, ordering it, but you're not. It will stay at 0. Now, how long does it take for these deliveries? That's going to be the interesting part. I'm not really sure. But I certainly know a lot of people that have already, stepped up and put in their order for those free tests. Now, if you're going to buy the test, A, you have to find them, and then B, you're going to have to pay for them. I don't know where you get your test. I have bought several of these for my entire family over the course of this pandemic, and I have paid anywhere from $15 to $20 for a box of 2. So essentially, you're getting a $40 value when you get 4 of these at-home tests. It takes 15 minutes, simple swab. It's not something don't have to touch the brain. When you put the swab in your nose, we just have to get it deep enough that it, can collect enough material, swab it around. It walks you through the entire process. You don't have to be a scientist. You don't have to be a medical expert to be able to administer these tests. And again, this is something that the government is offering to you through the USPS, is 4 of those home tests. So if you want them, now you know where you can get them. All right, and again, as I mentioned, I don't want to stay a long time this morning. I have things to do. The weekend is here. I know you have things to do as well. One more story of note for you today. A Texan who earned a lot of fame over the course of his life. You probably know him as Meatloaf, but in fact, that is not actually his name. You probably don't know his name, and you probably just always simply known him as the rock act, the singer, Meatloaf. But in fact, his name was Marvin Lee Aday. And as I mentioned, Houston born, Texas born. And yeah, you know, Bat Out of Hell, that was the album that really launched his career. And yeah, what people don't realize is just how many records the guy sold. Meatloaf sold like what 40 million in one album, over 100 million in sales. So he again passed away at 74, native of Dallas, and was pretty proud, I think, of his Texas heritage. But I just again, for those who grew up in the 70s, certainly a name of note. I had some fun this morning asking some of the younger coworkers if they were familiar with who Mr. Aday was. And I said, oh, you're not? How about Meatloaf? Didn't ring any bells. But when I said Rocky Horror Picture Show, they went, oh, was he involved in that? The cult classic? And I said, yes. And then, of course, they were interested, or maybe they weren't. But anyway, it's sad to see that he is gone. Again, dying at the age of 74. All right, I'm headed out. I got things to do today. I'm going to bundle up, go get that fire started. That'll take me a few minutes to get that going. And then I'm going to sit back, relax, and enjoy a chilly Friday. And in fact, it may be a chilly Friday now that I think about it. May put that, plant that seed this morning and see if we can get something going. Good day for gumbo, chili, any kind of soup. I can name about 6 or 7 that sound pretty good for lunch today. But anyway, have a great weekend. Have a good day. Enjoy yourself. Wear that parka, as I said, that you don't get to wear every day, and enjoy the day. Here's what you need to know. Remember, if you want to catch up with what's happening in the headlines, not only are we broadcasting on KFDM and Fox 4 daily, but we are also, multiple times daily, obviously, but we are also online at kfdm.com, fox4beaumont.com. Plus, you can follow us here on Facebook, Twitter, and remember, we do have a YouTube channel, Dan's at Home. That is the YouTube channel. You can subscribe, and you can see all of these updates. You will get alerts and let you know they're coming down. Go out and make it a terrific weekend. We'll look forward to talking to you again next week.